but not even gonna sugarcoat it. Caleb Williams, just I know in the rookie guide you mentioned this is one of the best quarterback prospects of the last decade. Just a spectacular talent. I mean, I got to watch a lot of him being down here in Southern California, so he was on TV every week. And me being a UCLA fan, it wasn't always fun, but I do appreciate greatness. But the one thing about that this season that's already been talked about so much, he had to play the superhero because the line was doing him no favors, and the defense was always giving up 30 plus points. So he had to play catch up ball, unless it was in Notre Dame, but we won't get into that one too much. But Caleb Williams, he's going to be dissected so much, but it's phenomenal. The talent. How do you see his game translating to the NFL and potentially in that offensive environment, and the worst kept secret of him going to the Bears?
Yeah, to me, when you're looking at him just as a prospect, he's one of the better quarterbacks that we've seen. And so we talked about in the rookie guy, like he's one of those better quarterbacks that we have seen there. The Bears are amazing landing spot for a lot of reasons. So what I've done, because I actually went on with Heath Cummings today from CBS Fantasy, and we were talking about landing spots. And so what I did for that show is I ranked them because we kind of went through it. One thing that I do with these quarterbacks is I go through, and I started this a few years ago, and I see like, all right, when they get land on this team, when they go to the Bears, how do I rank their offensive line? So the Bears, I put 7 because I do think that they're doing some good things there. Defense, they have an amazing defense, which is going to put them in positive game scripts, which is good because you're not going to have a lot of like what you saw at USC. They were throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game because that defense was awful. That was one of the worst college defenses I've ever seen. I watched a lot of college football. And so he had to do a lot of that, like, hero ball and all that. And he still looked great. So I think that the Bears are going to put him in a position where he doesn't have to hero ball it. He can if he needs to, but he's not going to have to. So I think that's going to limit some of those like mistakes that he had, those wonky throws, those like forcing throws. I don't think he's got to force it anymore. You have to love the weapons that he has there, with Junior Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. Even, again, I think that just even the running backs, right? When we're thinking Swift, all those guys that are there, like that is a very, very solid, talent based around Caleb Williams. That's going to allow him to make mistakes, but it won't kill his team. And it's going to put him in a way to have that competition there. And just force him to like, hey, you don't have to do it all here. Like you have all these guys around you. And the biggest thing is Shane Waldron. I think Shane Waldron is a very good development coach for the quarterback position. Look what he did with Geno Smith. He turned Geno Smith into a very serviceable quarterback, which is hard to do. Geno Smith struggled before he got to Seattle. So I think that they're going to put him in a very good position. They still have that 9th pick to kind of use however they want. Could be another weapon for him, maybe an offensive lineman. I love everything about Caleb, where he's going. And that's just on top. That's not even going through what he does well. Arm strength. He can make those throws that you like. Ball placement, accuracy. I think the biggest knock on Caleb that you're seeing right now, because it's silly season, is like the pink phone case that he had, or he paints.
Oh God.
And whether you want to talk about it or not, I think people are. So I think it's one of those things where you're like, hey, he can lead a team and he's going to be just fine. Because as someone who, I just came from high school, I'm in that education mode. Kids are different now. And you know what, you old boomers, you're going to have to realize that is just the reality, because these kids are not like your old school quarterback. They're not your old school, like, they might paint their nails. They do. I have kids that paint their nails too. And they play football at the high school. Like that is just things that they do. Like, and that's just one of those things that you're going to have to realize. And I don't think it takes it away from Caleb Williams. I think he's going to be a fantastic quarterback. He has great leadership on that team already. So that's what probably makes me the most excited about Caleb Williams.
I know, it's funny. I don't even think about his nails when I see him just kind of like, scramble out of the pocket. All of a sudden, look, he's got, a 6'3", 290-pound guy right in his face. He breaks, he breaks out of the pocket, looks up and just fires the ball, just split second, hits a Brendan Rice or somebody, in the breadbasket for a 40-yard, 40 yards down the field that turns into an 80-yard bomb. So I saw so many of those plays. I don't care about that. You know what? It's one of those things, if you could hit, if you could do that, Patrick, I wouldn't be surprised if Patrick Mahomes, paints his nails. I mean, who loves his Patrick Mahomes haircut anyway? So, except for him and maybe his wife. So, no, God, no. This guy is the truth. He's going in a great situation. I'm going to be very interested to see how he does from a clean pocket, because he didn't have so much of that this year, and that is going to be very important. And I love that he's getting Keenan Allen. And if they could get, so if you're sitting at number 9 and Roma Dunze falls, are you just running the card to the part, and you're the Bears, and are you running that card to the commish?
It really, to me, I think you have to, because I think if you're team building and you're looking at it, like Keenan Allen is probably a 1 year to maybe 2 year gap, depending on what that contract looks like. I mean, he's making a lot of money. So, if you can get Roma Dunze sitting there with DJ Moore, I think that's a very good pairing. So, and you're not going to be in a position probably moving forward where you're a top 10 pick, right? So I do think that is there. The only other way I would go possibly is offensive tackle. If there is one of those guys that slips there, Olu, like one of those guys, that might be where I'm like, you know what? I think I can take another guy that can protect Caleb Williams. I see some talent at the wide receiver position, some depth there in the second round, and that's where I'm going to go. I think that's the only way I think that they don't take a wide receiver there from